SCA Minhag of the Week, Life Cycles, Bar Missvah. This is a follow-up to my last episode number 145, where I talked about Yehi Shem on the Bar Missvah day. Yehi Shem as opposed to Anna. Many people have come back to us and questioned us, how could it be that we are practicing here differently than what they did in Halab? I thought we're here to uphold our Halabi Minhagim. Yes, we are here to uphold our Halabi Minhagim, but some of those Minhagim developed differently. Let me explain. So, we mentioned that in Halab, that on a Bar Missvah, they would say Anna, they would not say Yehi Shem. We also mentioned the practice in Argentina, where they used to say Yehi Shem, and then Chamis Hak Shehebar insisted that only if it's on the Bar Missvah day, the day that the boy turns 13 years in one day, do they say Yehi Shem, otherwise do Anna. And since he saw that people were not listening, and they were saying Yehi Shem no matter what day the Bar Missvah was, he laid out a blanket rule: from now on, every Bar Missvah is Anna no matter what the day is. So this clearly tells us that it wasn't only in the United States that we were saying Yehi Shem, they were doing it in Argentina as well. That means there's something more to it, and something that has to go back to Halab, and something that the Hachamim of the times have saw differently than what was going on in the past. So, bring us back to Brooklyn. Hacham Leon Gindi, who was one of the Hachamim in Halab and is now currently one of the rabbis in our community in Brooklyn, recently told us that yes, the Minhag in Halab was to say Anna on the Bar Mitzvah day, but if it was the actual day of the Bar Missvah, 13 years in one day, even in Halab, they said Yehi Shem. So now this gives basis to the concept of Yehi Shem being said on the Bar Missvah day. Let's go back now. Speaking to Rabbi Moshe Shama of Sephardic, he mentioned that he recalls clearly in the 1940s, Chief Rabbi Jacob Kassan coming to the Kitab and telling the boys that on his Bar Missvah in Jerusalem, when he was a boy, they said Anna. He didn't recall, though, speaking about Rabbi Shammah, did not recall what was going on in the community at the time in the 1940s. But from the 1950s forward, he clearly recalls every Bar Missvah being Yehi Shem and not Anna. So what are the other rabbis telling us in the community? We have Rabbis Eli ben Hayim and Rabbis Jacob ben Hayim, the sons of Hacham Baruch, both telling us that the practice of their father, Hacham Baruch, was to always say Yehi Shem at every Bar Missvah, no matter if the boy was fully Bar Missvah, 13 years in one day, or celebrating prior to that. We also know that in Ateret Torah, Hacham Yosef Raful says to say Yehi Shem. Interesting story that we recently found out about is that a community family traveled to Israel to celebrate their son's Bar Missvah in Jerusalem. This is about 35 or so years ago. And they was there celebrating, and they wanted to uphold the old custom of saying Anna, since it wasn't the full Bar Missvah day of the boy. Present was Hacham ben Sion Abba Shaul, and he said, absolutely not. You are not saying Anna, you are saying Yehi Shem. And he put his foot down that they say Yehi Shem. He said, you're here to celebrate. You came here to celebrate. Your family is excited. The boy is excited. This is a celebratory prayer, and you must say Yehi Shem. So obviously, based upon numerous sources and numerous Hachamim, both from the Middle East and Halab, as well as Argentina, as well as New York, the established practice of saying Yehi Shem for a Bar Missvah day, no matter when it falls, is firmly ground. It is the practice of our community, as I mentioned, as clearly stated in the Kol Yaakov Sidur. And another community Sidur, which did not mention it in the past, made no mention of the Bar Missvah, now tells us that in upcoming editions, they will add that to the instructions on days that you omit Tahanunim. So, our community practice is to say Yehi Shem and not to say Anna on the Bar Missvah day.